Hey guys, welcome to our tutorial video for the week. So today we're making a short pants with front zipper. Okay, so we needed the following measurements, and for this I'm going to be cutting out the size of fabric that I require for our short pants. So I'm actually trying to fold this fabric now into four, okay, before cutting it out. So the actual size of this fabric that will be required for the sewing of this short pants, it's about 1.5 yards. So 1.5 yards is enough size to sew this short pants for the measurement I had taken for myself. So I'd gone ahead to fold the piece of fabric now in three, because I have an additional one which I'll be adding after cutting out this three piece. Okay, so the length of this is 24, so I'll be adding our waistband, so to make the total length of our short pants 27 inches. So now I'm done cutting out the three piece of fabric, so I'll just use this size to cut out on the separate piece of fabric which I'd kept aside. So to make it four. So now guys, we're done cutting our four separate pieces of fabric that will be needing for our short pants with the front zipper. So next I'll be taking the flap measurement. Okay, so our flap is usually 5 inches wide and 10 inches deep. So that's my own basic measurement. So the first measurement I'm taking on top of our fabric there is 5 inches, and then I'll be taking it in. So the length I'm taking now is 10 inches. So that would be our flap measurement, and thereafter I'll simply draft my curve with my free hand. You could use your curve ruler for your curve. So now, having drafted my initial curve, I'm going to be drafting another curve, okay, which is about 3 inches above this curve. So please take note of this. So this is the difference between the flap of a short pants with a side zipper or a trouser and a pants with a front zipper. Okay, so I've taken my curve there. I'm simply removing half an inch there, which is going to be serving as my seam allowance. So it's a simple curve which is about 3 inches above the initial curve. Okay, so now I'll be cutting this shorter curve, okay, and then I'll be removing two pieces of fabric from our 4 piece of fabric that we are cutting on, as you see me do now. So the one I'm cutting now is going to serve as the back of our short pants. Okay, so I'm actually cutting on the 2 piece of fabric that I'll be using for the back of our pants, while the one for the front is the one I'm going to be making the completion of my adjustment here. So I'm simply going to be cutting out that other smaller curve, and that will be all for the front of our pants, short pants and flap. Okay, so the one that the flap is completely cut out is going to be for the back, while the other one would serve for our front. Okay, so next I'll be joining the flap together as I'm indicating with my fingers. Okay, so please ensure you do that before we finish taking our measurement. Then also I'm gonna be going to the sewing machine to also stitch the short part of this flap as I'm indicating with my finger right now. All right, so please take note to stop your stitch at that point where the short flap cutting ended. All right, so now that I'm done stitching the flap area, okay, so I'll be flipping it over so you could see how it looks. So this is the back, the piece of fabric for the back of our short pants, and this one that I'm laying on top of it is going to be for the front of our short pants. Okay, so now we're going to complete the drafting of our short pants on this fabric. So what I'll simply do now is to take about 3 inches at the base of this fabric. All right, so if you want yours to be wide, you could leave out 1 inch or 2, but I wanted mine to be a bit fitted, so I took 3 inches and I connected it to the point of the flap. All right, as you see me do right now. So I'm actually trying to shape my short pants, so I'm going to be repeating the same process for the other side. Okay, so you could remove 1 inch or 2 inch. All right, so I removed about 2 inch from mine. I actually readjusted it and removed 1 inch instead of 2. So the way you want it to fit is what you would do. If you want it wide, you could leave out 2 inches. So I removed 1 inch on one side and then I removed 3 inches from the other side. So I'll simply be trimming out the portion of fabric that I'll not be needing. So guys, at this point we're done shaping our fabric or our short pants. Okay, so the next thing I'm doing right now is to flip over my fabric. So this piece is for the back, while the other one would serve for the front of our short pants. And so what we're gonna do now is to try to, place our zipper at the front of this front fabric. Okay, so that's what it's looking like right now. So this area I'm opening up right now is where we're going to be placing our zipper. So this is the simple and basic technique for placing a front zipper, be it for a school uniform, a pants trouser that has a front zipper. This is the basic technique. Okay, so now I'll be going over to the sewing machine to stitch my zipper on my fabric. So please ensure you take note of each and every step I'm going to be showing us as I attach my zipper to the front of my short pants fabric. So first of all, I'm going to be stitching the back of the zipper as you see me indicate right now. So ensure you place the back of the zipper first of all, and then you run a top stitch on your zipper and your fabric, then flip it over again and stitch. All right, so this is what I'm trying to explain. So I'm placing the back side of my zipper first, and then I'll be running my stitch. Thereafter, I'll be flipping the zipper over to the other side, and then I'll be running a top stitch on it. I hope you understand. So now I'm done attaching my zipper to the front of my short pants. So what I simply am doing now is cutting out the excesses of the fabric required for attaching my zipper. Okay, so it's looking neatly done. It's a simple procedure which a beginner can actually try out. All right, so now I'd gone ahead to cut out 4 pieces of fabric, okay, which I'll be needing for my pocket area. So this is optional. You could make your short pants without pockets, but I usually prefer my pants having pockets. So what I'm simply going to be doing now is folding this front portion of our short pants into, as you see me do. So I'll be taking 2 of the 4 pieces of fabric I'd cut out and placing on the pocket area of the short pants. Okay, so I'd set 2 fabric aside. So the one I'd put on top of this front portion of our short pants, it's 2 fabric. Okay, so what I'm simply trying to do now is to draft the pocket curve. So first of all, I'm taking the length in, which is 6 inches, and then out, which is 4 inches, and then I'll simply draw my curve. So it's very simple. Okay, it's the same method of drafting the flap. All right, so I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So there you have the pocket cuff area. So now I'm simply gonna be opening up my fabric, and please take note that now I'm placing the fabric I'd cut out on the front side of my fabric for my shirt pants. Okay, so I'm placing my pocket fabric on the front side of my short pants, and then I'll go over to the sewing machine to stitch the curve area, which is what I've done now. So next I'll be flipping it over or flipping it inward. All right, and then I'll go back to the sewing machine and run a top stitch on the curve again, as you see me indicate with my finger. So now I'd already done a top stitch on it and it's sitting properly. So next I'll be attaching the remaining fabric which I kept aside on the pocket area, and then I'll be going back to the sewing machine to sew it together. Please ensure you don't stitch the pocket fabric along with the fabric for the front part of our shorts. Please take note that I am lifting the pocket fabric. All right, please ensure you lift it and place on your machine without the fabric for the shirt. So there you have it. I'm done stitching my pocket fabric. So next I'll be attaching the back of our short pants to the front fabric. So please ensure that the back fabric and the front fabric are the right sides are placed on top of each other with the right sides facing each other. So next I'll simply go and stitch the flap area first. Please, it's a must. Ensure the first stitch you'll be doing will be on the flap. Do not stitch both sides of your pants first. Stitch the flap area together, which is what I've just done. All right, so after that I retook my measurement and discovered that the waist was wider. This is the usual case. After attaching the back piece to the front piece, the waist of your pants or your shorts is usually wider. So what you can simply do is make pleats at the front of your short pants, or you could resize by retaking your measurements and then cutting out the excesses. Okay, so I'm actually retaking my waist measurements now. First of all, I made pleats on the front portion, and then also I'm retaking my waist measurements, and then I'll just draft my curve around the hip. Okay, take your waist measurement, retake your hip measurements, all right, before running your stitch, which is what I'm doing now. So I actually took 1 inch first, and then I took another inch, and so after that I was able to get my actual waist measurement. All right, so this video is beginner friendly. So whenever you attach the back parts, the back fabric of your shirt pants to the front, the waist usually turns out bigger. So you simply reshape or retake your measurement on the fabric. So I'll simply go over to the sewing machine now and stitch the 2 sides. So I'm simply trimming out the excesses. All right. So that being done, next we're going to be attaching our waistband to our short pants. So first of all, I'm flipping my shorts to the right sides. Okay, so I'll be attaching my waistband, but what I'm doing now is folding the edges of my short pants, and then I'll go over to the sewing machine to run my stitches around it before attaching my waistband. So please take note that the waistband for this short pants is different from my other waistband I've done in my previous tutorial video. So for this waistband, I'd sewn both sides. After folding the piece of fabric, I went ahead to sew both sides of the fabric. So take note that I am not placing the fabric in a fold. So I'm simply taking one edge of the piece of fabric for our waistband, and then I am stitching it on the waist area of my short pants. So please ensure you don't stitch both edges of the piece of fabric together. First of all, you stitch one side as you see me indicate now. Okay, open up the piece of fabric for the waistband, stitch one side on the wrong side or the inside of your short pants as you see me indicate. So I've done my stitch on the inside of my short pants. So next, I'm going to be flipping it to the right side. And what I'm simply going to do now is to turn the fabric for the waistband. Okay, I'm going to fold the edges inward before running a top stitch on it. It is very simple, all right, if you follow the steps. So see what I'm going to do now. I'm going to be folding the edge inward. Okay, I'm folding the edges inside, and then I'll be running a top stitch on it. Taking note that my fabric is now on the right side. Okay, so at this point, our tutorial for today is as good as done. So the last and final thing I'm going to be doing to this short pants after running a top stitch on the waistband is to attach my button, and then I'll go over and iron it out. So thanks guys for watching. See you guys in our next tutorial video where I'll be showing us how to draft a shirt with a collar and front button. So see you guys. Bye.